A few months ago when I started this channel, I made a video about my frustration with AppFlowy. This is the follow-up, and to sum it up in a sentence, I have moved on. It may sound like a gimmick, but after making my video lamenting the sad state of the AppFlowy beta releases, I immediately removed it from my dock. I don't know about you, but I firmly believe the first step of moving on from your ex is removing her from your wallpaper. That's exactly what I did with AppFlowy. To many of you, it may sound like I'm being harsh, but to say I believed in the AppFlowy mission would be an understatement. Prior to AppFlowy, I had to leave Notion because, frankly, it was simply a slow, bloated mess. I just wanted something very responsive and svelte. At the time, AppFlowy was the fitting successor, and better yet, it was open source. I am extra nice to open source projects because I believe in the cause. Believe in the AppFlowy cause I did. Check out the video I made where I detail my declining love for the app. So I made it my mission to find something better. And the truth is, I was looking for something open source. I finally landed on Obsidian. I know, Obsidian is not open source, but there simply is no equivalent. Funny enough, I did try to use Obsidian before. I liked it a lot, but one of my biggest drawbacks was that I had to pay to keep the files synced between devices. This is something I never really had to worry about with Notion and AppFlowy. In this video, I'm going to detail how I solve the multi-device syncing and how my overall transition has been. The way I use these apps is mostly as a simple text editor. I barely use the rich text features. Yes, I do use headers, tables, and lists, but that's just about it. I'm not even into the whole hyperlinking thing. I'm pretty old school in this regard. As you can imagine, AppFlowy is an overkill if all I'm looking for is just a simple functionality. I just wanted a way to document knowledge, thoughts, and that's just about it. The problem with the cloud-first apps like AppFlowy is that they are not responsive. There's an enormous latency with the keystrokes. You type the letter J and 200 milliseconds later it renders on the screen. This is even worse in AppFlowy. You don't know if the word you just typed a minute ago is saved. It's opaque, and it's even unpredictable with every server trip. When you type a word, it presumably makes a server trip to save the file. However, if the server request fails, it returns the previous state of the file and overwrites the word you just typed in. It's an aggressive way to keep the synced files consistent across devices to avoid version conflicts. The crazy thing is, Google Docs is very good at this cloud-first architecture than everybody else. Everything in Obsidian is local first. The markdown files are on the device hard drive in a folder that is easily accessible. If you want to, you can go to the folder and open the files in another text editor. It's incredible in this regard. Obsidian itself is better than word processors like Microsoft Word or Apple Pages. It auto-saves files. You never really have to worry about unsaved work ever. Like I said, it saves the file on the device, and that's the first step of the setup. I wanted a way to sync them between my two laptops. Some people were suggesting GitHub, especially because it comes with file versioning, and I'm afraid that sounded a little too complex to implement at first. But I'll admit, the idea of file versioning is something I want to implement in the future. It's sophisticated and it will solve what I believe to be the biggest drawback with my current setup. I used a cloud drive service with cross-platform desktop apps. So right off the bat, iCloud and OneDrive were out of the question for me because I use Linux on my other laptop. I had two options, Dropbox and Mega. The slight problem with Dropbox is that their free tier storage is very limited. It's more limited than OneDrive or iCloud. They only offer 2 GB of free storage, which is honestly perfectly fine for a markdown files, but I wanted more headroom. This is why I went for Mega. Mega gives a free 20 GB of storage. It's pretty much the most generous in the game right now. I had been using it for some years and I have no complaints whatsoever. They are said to be end-to-end encrypted, and I suppose that's a comforting thought to me. I downloaded the Mega Desktop app on both my laptops. I also installed the Obsidian desktop app on both laptops. Then, on my primary laptop, I created a folder inside the MegaSync folder. I just named the folder Obsidian. I opened the Obsidian app and chose the folder as the Vault. From there, I used the Mega Applet to select the folder as a local sync folder and added a cloud folder in which I wanted it to be stored. I went to my other laptop, opened the Obsidian app and chose the now synced Obsidian folder from the cloud as the Vault. I was done. No matter which of the two devices I used to create or edit files, after Obsidian saves, Mega uploads the file and it is synced across the other device. The setup is simply immaculate. With my current setup, I know without a doubt that I have decoupled storage and file syncing. Whatever I write is always saved locally and only after can it be synced. Mega is really reliable in this regard. If an upload fails because of whatever reason, it keeps on retrying until it works. My current setup may work, but it's not foolproof. It needs some versioning of sorts. If I were to mistakenly delete the contents of a page, there pretty much would be no way to revert to a specific version of the document. So, much like when you work with files locally, every mutation is permanent. This means the setup isn't exactly a storage or a backup, it's just a tool to keep the files synced across devices.